You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
It's Saturday, you heard?
Yes.
That joint is banging. We played that last week. We about to play it another week in a row because we give them 3 and then they're out.
Absolutely, but when it's fire, it's fire.
That's a fact. So, family.
Yes.
How was your week, man?
This week was a blessing. You know, I can't even front.
Oh, wait. Let me tell the people. I'm not going to say your age, but, you know, we celebrated a big one for you.
Yeah, I want them to guess it, though.
You know, congratulations, you made it this far. A lot of the guys like us don't make it that far. So, you know, it was such a blessing to be able to celebrate with you. You brought donuts to the ball run. You know what I mean? We went out for birthday breakfast.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Happy birthday, my G. You know how it goes. Always love.
Yeah, it was good. You know, I'm not a big celebrator of my own birthdays, never have been, but you know, I'll go all out for you. You know, all out for my people. So it's good when it's forced upon me. You know, it's a good reflection time always. You know, another year around the sun. So, you know, shout out to everybody for all the love and all the support and all the best wishes. You know, I appreciate everybody, all the dinners and everything. So it was a good time. And
we got something coming on the way for you.
Let's go. All right, I'll take it.
It's coming.
All right, I appreciate that.
It's coming. What did you get into for your birthday though? For real?
No, it was just we went to Shorty had scheduled like almost like a trampoline park, but it was like an outdoor thing, and full disclosure, we did like treetop trekking a couple years ago, and
what is that, bro?
It's like you're kind of hooked up to
like a harness,
and then you got to like climb and like move amongst like maybe you're about 15 to I would say about 30 feet in the air.
Yeah,
real talk, right? And
that's crazy.
So it does take some upper body strength. You know, it was like I actually hurt myself in ball the week before, and I injured myself, so I didn't even get to finish it the first time. So
for real,
I was cheesed with that. So I think Shorty, you know, tried to run it back in that sense, and you know, mad love for that. Couple of the cousins came out. Shout out Stacy. Shout out Dion.
Okay,
it was a good time. We went and had some dinner. We were out in Stouffville with the kids, so it was fire. How was what did you get into?
We had a family jam. We had a family picnic.
Yeah.
Christie Lake Conservation in Hamilton.
Yeah.
A lot of people came out. We had lots of fun. Did it up big. We had a chef.
Okay.
So nobody had to be out there cooking.
No one stressed.
The chef was doing the burgers and the hot dogs.
Yeah.
But he also did the fish. Jeez. He also did the chicken. You know what I mean? Had it all on deck. Yeah. Everything was gone though. If you know my family, that Tupperware is popping out.
That means that food is good then.
No, chef is A1. Shout out to chef. And then yesterday, I had an aunt down from Florida.
Okay.
Never been to Toronto, so I wanted to give her the Toronto experience.
Okay.
What do you do to give the Toronto experience?
You just stay downtown for 4 days.
Well, she only had a day.
Okay.
So we did CN Sky.
All right.
Sky is obviously the CN Tower.
Yeah.
She got a whole view of the city. Got to take the ill pictures.
Sorry, you said that the second time I'm hearing you say that. Is that like a package they got? I've
yeah.
never heard
It's a package.
That's kind of fire. Okay.
Yeah, so you do the Sky. Yeah. She got to see all of Toronto.
Bet.
Got to be in the mix. She was on Bremner, you know, a little, and the Blue Jays game was going on.
Also, she saw it.
So we were able to look down and see the game happening.
Oh, that's dope.
And then, you know,
that's so fire from that angle too.
Yeah, it's fire.
I know this is very Toronto centric.
It's scary though.
But you can see right into the game while it's on.
100%. It was live, and then the sea portion had the sharks swimming over us,
that's dope.
The turtles,
Ripley's
all
fire.
types of ugly fish that you never want to see in real life. Because if you encounter them, you're too far gone.
You know what the most fire, like I guess, exhibit for me at Ripley's is?
Yeah,
the jellyfish.
Yeah.
That is the
red and the blue joints.
That is ill to me, bro.
Little secret, they're coming through with the reptiles soon, so
I'm
pretty sure they're gonna have alligators or crocodiles or one of them. So that's coming. The first time I went, I don't think the conveyor belt was that long.
Yeah,
but you know, we were on it for like a good 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I haven't
all types of stuff swimming over us.
Yeah.
She was very happy. Got to take mad pictures. Got a real
that's a
Toronto
good
experience.
Yeah.
You know, we got to show her, yo, that's the lake. We got beaches over there. Yeah. You know, next time you come, we'll go on a little boat cruise.
Show the city's live. There's a lot to do out there.
She didn't even get to see like Young and Dundas.
Yeah.
She just got to see the one, but she was like, "This is busy. There's mad people."
One thing at a time. Next time you bring her uptown.
Yeah, last time
restaurants or something. You know?
See, when I went to Miami, she brought me to the Boardwalk South Beach. We went on the boat tour and did Star Island. So you know, I had to return the favor. So,
that's fire. That's fire.
You know, I brought the little family out.
Shout out. But I do want to say, you know, on a somber note. I had a friend that passed away, so I will shout out his family. Shout out to the James family. You know, prayers and condolences out to the whole family. Yeah. You know, rest in paradise. Herbert Troops James passed away at 45. So you know, all love. Still tough dealing with it. Yeah. You know, it's also, I also find it kind of unique when, you know, someone passes, but then everybody that was connected connects. Yeah. Right? And it always puts things in perspective.
For real.
At the end of the day. So
it shows you how short life is.
Yeah,
and man. How much we need to treasure each other's company.
And even some of the people that you fell out of touch with, or you had maybe a bad scenario, you realize it's not that serious.
It's not that deep.
You know what I mean? So again, shout out to the James family. Yo. You know, prayers, love, condolences, and rest in paradise, Herb.
Moment of silence.
Hey. Okay.
But I also forgot this week.
Yeah.
My man has a huge charity.
Okay.
Bags Without Barriers. We've been shouting it on our Instagram.
That's an in-house charity.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was out there in Rexdale, Thistletown, handing out backpacks. Hey. We were able to hand out about 500 backpacks and 100 what's that? Anyways, fitness bags.
Okay, all right.
So we were able to hand it out. It was crazy. People were mobbing us but it was just love seeing the kids so happy to get that backpack with butterflies on it. You know what I mean?
Or love the kids.
That's a fact, man.
Shout out Bags Without Borders.
Yes, shout them out.
You know, obviously you got to love and support, you know, businesses that are giving back and doing it for real. You know, for the impoverished and those that can't do it for themselves. So, you know, we definitely support that all day.
And the homie's just doing it off the muscle. Like, he just wanted to do this. So I support him 100%. You gotta rate that. Blueprint supports him 100%. We might even have him come through here and just talk about the charity.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
You second that notion?
I second that notion.
100%. Lovely.
All right. So we did, you know, last week tease that we were gonna do a review or two. So did you get to the Latto?
Yes, I did. Sugar, honey, iced tea.
Yes, and I love the name.
And that's what we used to say for the word shit.
Yeah.
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
Yo, so I love the name. Obviously, I've professed already that I'm a big Latto fan from jump. You know, I think she is talent-wise, bar-wise. Like, I'm a hip-hop purist. So
I thought it was all looks, B.
Listen, talent reigns supreme to me, and she can bar with the best of them.
Okay,
I'm not even going front. So to me, the album was in perfect pocket, as you said. Sugar, honey, iced tea, extremely cohesive. I think that's one of the things that kind of stood out to me. Where the album, you're bumping it whether it's at home or in the whip or wherever the case is.
Yeah,
and you know, you don't even realize like. You're already on track 7. The album is bumping, and you're just into the vibe. The one thing that I will say, and I guess we'll get to it a little after, like I always found it tough, like really getting into women music. You know what I mean? Especially on the hip hop side.
I think the perspectives that they take, you might not relate to it fully.
Absolutely, that's exactly
some of the content and the topics. Because I got a 12-year-old at home. She turns 12 on September 7th. Like, I don't want to hear this coming out of the bathroom. I don't want to hear it coming out of her room.
Bro, I get it.
But it was a dope project. Yeah. I can't front on it. Like, it had some good music. Yeah. Sonically, everything fit.
Yeah, and I think that's my approach of it. You know what I mean? I understand, and it's kind of like you have to compartmentalize you know, the agendas and what the label's making you do versus the talent. Like for me, I'm still holding on to hip hop when it comes to the talent and the artistry of it as much as I can, right? So, you know, I try to separate it in that sense, even though I'm not gonna front. Like I was listening to some of the bars, and I was like,
this is not for me.
If Latto, if Latto was my daughter, like, what does Latto's dad think about this? You dig? Like, I don't know if money changes everything. Who knows what the scenario is at the end of the day?
Listen.
Musically, and I'm gonna be, fair on all sides because we're not having this conversation about guys at the end of the day.
We can't.
I'll say that I really enjoyed the album. I think she showed out. I think she is one of the best, as I mentioned already.
She showed her pen. She showed her pen
throughout the whole album. The beats were hard,
and she was flowing on that shit.
The samples,
she was flowing on it. That's what I appreciated most. She used a lot of Atlanta. She's from Atlanta, so obviously Georgia influence. But I mean, like, she was flowing on that shit. She had some of those trap beats, but she also made sure she got those commercial radio records, especially that one with Sierra.
Yeah.
Like,
big tune.
Big tune. That's a stadium one.
And we were talking about the shrimp and grits, which we're going to play a little later.
That tune goes. Like, that's a banger,
kid. A lot of we played Brokey last week. So, she has a lot of hits. And again, I feel like she is well-rounded. She's definitely top 4.
Well, hold on. We're Toronto guys, right? Yeah. Is there a Toronto influence on her sound a little bit?
Okay, all right. So
talk about it, because me and him have conversations about the conversation we're about to have.
For sure.
And
why wouldn't you?
I'm not saying she's mirroring the seams in her favorite artists, but you can see whose baby she came from, who she listened to coming up,
and it's kind of convenient still on two fronts. I'll say this because. There was, especially on the track Shout Out to Me, man. I heard Drizzy all over that. I felt
the Six God all over that.
All over that. There was a couple other ones on there where the beat flips, where, you kind of feel like...
Big Mama was one of them.
It sounds a lot of Drizzy influence now. Conspiracy theory or coincidence, Drake is dating her sister. You know what I mean? That's where the Ja Morant shots came from.
Can we roll that back? Who's her sister?
She's just like a socialite from my understanding, but like she's one of them.
She's a fire thing?
She's one of them.
Oh.
Ja Morant.
Oh.
That's where Drake and Ja Morant's beef come from. It was over her.
Oh.
You dig? And she even says that references a couple times her court-sized mans should be shooting, but they passing because they distracted. She's slick with it. I'll give her that. I'm not going to front. She's slick with it. I'll give her that. But,
I don't know. If a girl pulled up with that and she had some of those bangers on, sorry.
All right.
My girl personally.
Yeah. So who's top 4 to you? Let's say that. Well, because my top 4, I'll say right now.
What do you mean? Female rappers in the game?
Right now, present August 2024. I got Latto. No, in no particular order. I got Latto.
Yeah.
I got Meg.
All right. Latto and Meg had a banger on here. Nicki. Yeah.
Well, listen, Nicki had a hot album at the end of the year last year.
I heard you.
And...
You know the barbs is after
Cardi. I gotta give it Cardi as well, even though she hasn't dropped an album, but she drops fire singles anytime she drops.
So
I think those are the top 4.
So I'm Barty gang. I'm going with Cardi.
Okay.
After this project, I'm gonna go Latto.
Okay. All right. So this is in particular order then.
Not necessarily, but after listening to this project, yeah. I like Glorilla, man.
I like her too.
I think she be talking that shit.
For me, she's just like I love the energy. It's just not like she's just maybe little too. The bars just aren't there.
But if they made that 7 p.m. Friday for a man, you would be repeating that.
No, we bumped that. That got 3 weeks out of here.
All right,
you dig? So
all right, then that's my 3, and then. I don't really know. It mixes. It could be Meg. Okay. It could be Nicki.
Yeah.
It could be Ice Spice. Not necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes they come out with hot records that I could fuck with.
Okay, bet. All right, we'll leave it at that.
You know how rap goes, man. Yeah. It depends on the feeling.
Absolutely.
So,
and no one's list is wrong. It's personal, right? At the end of the day.
That's subjective.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's subjective.
Did you get into the Benny?
Yes, I did.
Summertime Butch. Butch is coming.
I literally just came from upstate New York. Hey. I was in Rochester and Buffalo today.
Hey, yo,
I went to the hair store. I was out there.
Griselda bumping for
sure.
Big
up Warsaw, Hudson, all that.
Hey,
I was out there. Summertime Butch.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's a nighttime feel to me.
Yeah?
It's summer, but it's summer at night.
Yeah.
It's grimy.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a mixtape feel.
Definitely mixtape feel.
The only thing I would say to Butch, a lot of these records he only did one verse on.
Yeah.
Let the young boys eat.
So here's the thing.
Let Ricky Hyde eat. Let El Camino eat. Let Heems eat.
So, bro, I was looking at it, and Black Soprano Family dropped 7 pieces of work compilations in 2024 alone already.
For real?
Yo, bro, just
where have we been?
Yo, bro. So I'm just saying. So what I'm seeing right now is these artists getting hip to how the game's being played. And you mentioned it already with the minute-and-a-half track of one verse, and then listen, they're playing like they understand the game now, right? To me, this is you called it right. It's a mixtape. This is the vibe and a flip because this is Benny the Butcher with the Black Soprano Family, but I think I only heard Ricky Hyde on the album.
No, there's that one track, man, my favorite one, because it felt like that mixtape era. It was Ricky Hyde, El Camino, and Fuego Bass.
So,
but like for me, when you said that, it just clicked in.
It's a flip.
Them playing the algorithm.
Yeah.
Your song's only a minute and 30.
Yeah.
I put that on repeat because I want to hear that over and over again.
Yeah. It's
that's maximizing your streams.
They know they've learned how to play the game, and they're playing the game. So because, go get your money. You know what I mean? At the end of the
little
day.
quick songs. Yeah. You notice those are the ones that have the highest stream level when you look at it.
How many times did I listen to Summer 2024? Because it's a short track and Benny has one verse. I'm listening.
And you pull it up every time.
And the beat is hard.
You pull it up.
Like you want 3 verses.
You pull it up.
On one of the tracks, he's like, I'm only going to give you guys 1 verse. So I was like, all right, I get it. You want it, but I like it. It's a nice little mixtape.
Production is dope.
What I appreciate with Griselda on a whole, because I've been seeing video of Westside in the studio. Look like he's about to drop another banger coming soon.
Fly God.
Yeah, but the work ethic, man, it's undeniable. It's reminding me of Wayne. It's reminding me of the best at their peak, when Jay was you were just getting a bunch of music all the time. Like it's that. And the last 3 years for Griselda, actually their whole lineage has been just a lot of work at the end of the day. I'm telling you,
because
but they're on and they act like they're still trying to get on.
Nah, they're eating, because when I found out about Griselda, I found out like late. There was already like 3 volumes of probably 2 volumes of Hitler Where's Hermes out already.
Okay.
And they had the duo, the Hall and Nash out.
Yeah.
And I was like, these guys are on a different level. Like, who are these guys? And like, Fly God was coming.
Same thing that happened.
Like the first record I heard, it was like a crazy sample, and it was my man who posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, he sounds like a bad kid from Brooklyn. Like, I need to know who this is.
Was it Benny or Conway?
No, it was Westside.
Oh, it's Westside. Okay.
I was like, yo, he sounds like a bad kid from Brooklyn. He's like a back block street. He'll tell you to park your car here. He's valet, and then your car's gone.
Yo, he does.
So like, I had to check it out, and then when I did my research, he was already with Sky Zoo. Yeah. But he had already had the Fashion Rebel stuff going, so they were kind of fly. Like, he had like a jacket with a Griselda patch on it, like Griselda Blanco's face.
Shit. Okay.
Like on a varsity.
Yeah.
So I was like, who are these? And then it's from Buff. Yeah. I'm like, we grew up in Buff. Yeah. Like, BLK was our radio station.
Yo, these guys came on like wildfire, because I remember hearing about them. I remember listening to, who used to run them, and rest in peace?
K-Slade, baby.
Heavy. So I used to hear about Conway the Machine.
The Machine.
On K-Slade's show, I think it was every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he ran Kanye once a week for sure. So I'll shout out to that. And then what really popped it for me, and I went back and then got caught up, was Gods Don't Bleed. With Kiss on it, and then from there I was like, "Oh, these guys are out of here." Because I looked at the track listing for, I think it was Hitler with Hermes like 7 or something like that, or 6 or whatever, and it was just like all like wrestling names, and I was like, yo, bro, it blew my mind.
And then he had the tape called Ringside with all the wrestling songs on it,
bro. He had a track name called like Rey Mysterio. I was like,
Rey Mysterio Jr., Arn Anderson. He got Jimmy Hart bigging him up.
Like and they got and they were getting the licensing to use.
But they were getting the legends. Like Bobby the Brain Heenan is talking on their shit.
And that's why I loved it, because you realized that there was true artistry in what they were doing. You know, it wasn't just the music. It was the fashion, the music, the style.
But is it not reminiscent of Wu? Like how Wu came in with the Kung Fu? Yeah. Everything was, all their albums at the start had everything to do with the Kung Fu.
Because the comp for me was kind of like with Rockefeller-ish, but like I like the comp in the sense that like it's so gritty music. Like,
oh my God,
Derringer beats. Like you never Derringer was his own sound.
It felt really cool. You know what I mean? It felt really cold. Like it feels like upstate New York in the winter.
It does.
But yo, you know what I mean? Let's get in some music, bro.
Okay, so what we gonna run, just because we did the reviews, we're gonna run right now. We're gonna run Summer 24, Benny the Butcher off that Black Soprano family, and Shrimp and Grits featuring Young Nudie, Latto, Blueprint Radio. Let's get it.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
Yes. Roses and Matic back with entertainment. We got a sad story to start it off with.
Yeah.
Our boy Scarface has been admitted to the ICU with an unspecified health issue. Now we know that Scarface got a kidney in the past.
Yeah. So, prayers up. Hopefully, nothing's come. I believe it was on the 26th he was, or 25th he was admitted.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard anything yet. I was online today to see if there was any update on his health conditions. As you did mention, he did get a kidney transplant from his son back in 2021.
Yeah.
In between that, we seen him do the Tiny Desk, which was fire.
He's amazing. He's an amazing artist.
So, prayers up to his family. Hope everything's okay.
We praying for Brad.
Yeah.
Legendary artist.
Oh man!
Last week we played My Block, and I think it was fitting, man.
Man.
That's dope. That's dope
fan for sure.
So we got this new doc coming out. I'm so excited about.
Geeked, bro. I'm geeked.
ODB's having a documentary about kind of like his life.
Yeah.
And it's the tale of two Dirties.
Yeah.
What we've heard out of the Wu-Tang camp about Dirty, he was the glue.
Yeah.
He was the glue guy. He was the guy that kind of
the energy
let them know. Yeah. Well, he's the energy guy, but I mean, like, at the same time, he was the one that was like, yo, believe in us. We're going to be something.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, when you got, like, 9 members, like, after a while, you're like, how's this guy going to produce all of us? How are we all going to eat? But they were saying ODB was kind of that guy that was like, just believe in the RZA.
Yeah.
We got talent. Yo, we going to bum rush the industry. And the first interviews, he was the dude.
Yeah, like, he had an infectious energy. For you to be successful, you have to have a mindset that is almost, people might think you're psychotic. You might think like only you believe, 50 even speaks about it. Like you have to be the true believer in your fate. It's to a point where, it seems like you're crazy. And ODB sometimes came off like he was a little, you know what I mean, off, especially with the personalities in the Wu. And off is the wrong term, but he was a different character aside from everyone else. And he definitely stood out. But what you couldn't take away from Dirt was his music acumen. He would pull up and start singing James Brown. You listen to Return of the 36 Chambers, man.
Different type of album though.
One of the best bodies of work. I remember in real time when that album dropped, man. Like all of the tracks on the album, like I remember Rap City when Shimmy Shimmy Ya came out. That thing banged for I want to say about 3 months, literally on the countdown,
literally.
Like,
because the video was so dope because he did it in the 70s style too, right? Yeah. Like, yo, you can see that he really loved soul music.
Yeah.
And he portrayed that in his rhymes, everything. He was his own character. He was very unique.
He walked soulfully. Like, he was his
He's
energy
a vibe.
was with a, so
he's a vibe.
I'm interested to see the doc. Like, RZA came out this week. I guess they had the world premiere of it. And he was extremely happy, you know.
So if he gives a cosign, who are we? Like,
yeah, again,
it's gonna be fire.
I love it. The only problem is that when you have a big family, not everyone's gonna agree all the time. I want to hear who doesn't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think at the point when it comes to these woo collective projects, you know, either albums, TV series, movies, docs, whatever the case is, you know, it's sad to see that not everyone's always on the same page.
Yeah.
Right? But it was good to see them last year, you know, all together. I guess except for Meth. Was Meth at your show?
Meth was at my show.
Yeah, Meth wasn't at my
I
show.
also saw his son tearing it down.
Yeah. He killed that though.
Yeah.
He's in character.
He's got
with
the
that.
vibe.
Yeah,
he's got it. He knows his father's work.
Yeah.
What would be such a polarizing person in rap, because you've heard so many stories about him beating up engineers, sleeping on the floor of studios and just wasting out the studio time. Ghetto Superstar, he's walking by and he's like, Praz, I gotta get on this record. They don't want him to be on the record. And then that song, I remember when I was in like grade school, like that song was like one of the biggest songs of the 90s.
But look at that.
But also, Denny Flipton was on the Mariah Carey, which was another smash hit.
Like, honestly, like, I think when in hindsight, like, he might be, like, longevity-wise, probably the most famous Wu-Tang member. Like, I'm talking about mainstream success. Like, the way that, like, who has bigger tracks than him?
I think he has the biggest tracks. But I'm saying, if
he didn't pass away, go to jail, whatever the case is, like that, like, if he was on, like, if you were able to stay in a pocket, or, you know, have the guidance or whatever the focus, whatever the case is.
He has some demons, bro.
We all do at the end
we
of
all
the day.
do. Well, like, I'm not judging him, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but he had a track with Mariah, bro, and that's one of Mariah's biggest tunes.
Hey, Dirty, baby, I got you. Like, that is, listen, if you go to a party right now and they don't play that when they play the old school set, did they really have an old school set?
No.
Like, that joint comes on. But if you're Fantasy with and then Ghetto Superstar, like, those are 3 A-list top tier rap records, and he's not rapping with a formula. But he's just doing whatever he felt like.
To me, you can't run a 90s set without hearing the dun, 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 dun. Yeah, what? Like, just that sample alone, you know what I mean? Shout out to Dirt. You know, we'll definitely do a full deep dive when this Dirt drops.
Gert, son.
So rest in peace there. I guess it was Investfest this week, and honestly, I want Blueprint Radio to get to it next year at ATL.
We got to figure out a way how to fly out, B.
Got to get out there, you know, got to be where the minds are being creative, and the people are looking to invest in the top tier talent. You know, I think that's what we are. That's what we do. You know, so it's inevitable at the end of the day.
The Jack Armstrong.
But one of the keynote speakers and one of the top features there was 50 Cent. And what I do appreciate about Fifth, especially post dropping music career of 50, because he obviously went on tour recently, which ended up being the 3rd highest grossing hip hop tour ever.
Yeah, I'm kind of cheesed I didn't go see 50 Cent.
Right, like, so 100%. And I had 2 opportunities to do it, but it is what it is. But, you know, he was giving some of his unwritten rules in business. And, and that's, I think, where 50, the 50, the musician, is going to be one thing, but I think 50, the mogul or the business icon, is going to be that next level where people might, like how we do LL or Ice-T, don't even remember that they were hip-hop artists because they're so successful in movies and TV. Yeah. I think 50 might, like, his music career, other than maybe Get Rich or Die Trying, which is a classic, might get slept on because he's putting out so many great shows. He's backing so many great ideas.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
You know, the only reason why 50 will always stay relevant as hip hop is his beefs.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what would Ja Rule have been if 50 didn't come through?
Yeah, but
because everybody listen,
literally at the peak of his powers.
Guys want to front, but
he's at the peak of his powers.
A lot of those Murder Inc. records Listen to him now.
Yeah.
Listen to Vedi Vedi Vici now.
What do you mean? So
it's a classic.
Oh yeah, that album was a
classic work. Even that Murderers album, it doesn't get a lot of shine. Like their group project, like Cadillac Tire. Their rappers were not the best rappers. Let's be honest. But the vibe and the music that was being produced.
Listen, Murder Inc. is just 3 people. It's Irv, it's Ja, and it's Ashanti. That's all that is at the end of the day. There are other artists there. No, there are other artists there, but if we're talking about meat and potatoes, I'll keep it 100. It's those three.
They had Lloyd.
Yeah, but Lloyd came on, and Lloyd didn't put the hits up like when, with those guys at the end of the day.
That's a fact.
Right? So I think the problem with 50, the problem with what happened to Ja, because Ja, like I said, was at the peak of his powers when 50 came. It was a targeted attack with Ja Rule, right? Like in hindsight, like they found a beef, which hip hop loves to do to introduce an artist, especially back then.
Of course,
they were able to feed the beef, and 50 came out on top. He was willing to go further, to be more disrespectful.
But he's grimy. He's a street guy.
He's willing to do more.
But the fact that they were also getting indicted at that time, that also
it fell into place. Yeah,
it helped everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I also don't feel like Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. would be able to withstand Aftermath, Shady, Interscope,
absolutely not.
G-Unit.
Because they had a beef with certain individuals like Dre and them, but like XXL was on their side.
Yeah.
It had that Shady Aftermath,
that cover, man.
G-Unit, that was them.
One of the most iconic covers.
So it was like, yeah, you guys had the source, but at that time, Double XL was coming up, and it was like the source was kind of on its decline.
Well, the source was imploding with the beef that beef because of Eminem and them with Dave Mays and Benzino and all of those, right?
And Dave Mays had a ride with Benzino.
Yeah, so it was.
You know what I mean?
So it was a perfect storm. It
was the perfect timing. But yeah, Fifth is legendary.
Yeah.
Even like shows that he doesn't get as much credit for, like For Life.
Oh no, but that
again, was a dope series.
Yeah, he's a smart businessman. He's a creative. Fifth is a genius. Like again, even coming up with the 50 Laws of Power, stuff like that. His audio book. But one thing he did say that really kind of stood out to me is that one of his unwritten rules in business is not to appear to need anything, because everybody will do a favor for you so you could do a favor for them in the future. Right? So
that's a fact.
So, they'll find something to give you a favor just to gain leverage in a relationship. So I really I'm pretty sure he said a lot more in regards to that, but that's one of the things that stood out. If you're confident in what you do and you've put the work in, don't bend, don't fold, don't break for nothing is kind of what I got for it. Try to work with good people and people you trust, right? At the end of the day. But I also know that when you're starving, or you're desperate, you tend to make bad decisions, right? So, and I think that's in life.
Never go shopping hungry.
Exactly, right? So it's just one of those things. I love that saying. But shout out to Fifth. We'll try to get to Investfest. I know there's one pop-in in Toronto, I think in October, which we can probably slide through. So we'll put you guys on, and cupping up and later episodes when we get more information about that. I did have a question for you though, my guy.
Talk to me.
So it's been going around, floating on the internet, and I kind of love the discussion because it's a real debate, especially for true hip hop heads or people of hip hop culture that love it like we do.
Yeah.
Who has the bigger cultural impact between Snoop Dogg and Jay Z? No criteria. You know what I mean? Obviously, this is a safe space, right? You're not going to be judged here in regards to what your thoughts are.
So you're saying who's more culturally impactful between Jay?
So I'm going to say
it doesn't just have to be music-wise?
No, I think it's everything encompassing.
Okay.
I think it's everything.
I'm going to tell you my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, man.
Okay.
I've seen him sell insurance. I've seen him sell Corona.
Yeah.
I seen him have a show with Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
My parents still pronounce his name wrong, Snoop Doggy Doggy.
Yeah.
But They know who he is.
Know who he is. That's it.
Jay Z took that next step. For us as rap listeners, Jay Z was always everything.
Yeah, for sure.
But he took that next step for the rest of the world when that union became official with Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's never a disrespect, but your wife has a lot of steam in her kettle.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So it's like they might not know Jay Z as much as Beyonce's man, as Beyonce's husband.
Yeah.
Snoop now, he's a star on his own.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he had Dr. Dre, but he eclipsed Dr. Dre as a rapper for being a bigger star.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's bigger in hip hop than Dr. Dre, but he's just like that Doggy Style album, the singles that he produced off that, Gin and Juice, What's My Name?
So, okay, so I
like when Snoop came out, he had guys obviously Jay-Z had guys wanting to be Jay-Z, but he put a whole coast on his back.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on it. I agree with every single point you said. I as big as Jay-Z fans as we are, as you mentioned, this was a tough question when I was thinking about it because I actually had to do the numbers, and I'm a stats guy.
You gotta do the numbers, baby.
I had to go through the numbers, and Jay-Z, when it comes to just raw hip hop numbers, is him.
Of course,
you know what I mean. And when it comes to business acumen outside of hip hop, Jay-Z is well known for it, right?
But culturally,
but okay, all right, let me get there. But Snoop Dogg transcends, like Snoop right now. Like if you were to ask, maybe survey 10 people, and you gave them to me, you can't transcend culture if you're not known by one name. So if you're not Snoop, if you were to say Snoop, who's Snoop, everyone will know who Snoop is.
He's bigger than the cartoon Snoopy.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Jay, I don't know. People might know depending on where you are. If you say Drake, I think Kanye's there. I think those four, for me, have transcended the hip hop in itself, right? In that sense. So I think Snoop, and again, to me, the turn was Martha Stewart. Is up until that point, he was still famous. He's probably still one of the most famous hip hop artists, but he was known for smoking weed and attempted murder.
So let's talk about that.
Right? So
who has been able to turn the page and rebrand who they are better than Snoop?
See, Snoop, I was also going to say, Snoop also has been in hip hop for 4 decades.
But Snoop is a legit certified gang member.
Yeah, absolutely. And
but everybody still feels comfortable with Snoop being around.
He is
the coolest artist that you've ever seen.
He is I would say, number one hip hop personality of all time.
Snoop got 2 or 3. He got 2 or 3 documentaries on Netflix right now.
He has
his Pop Warner League.
Yeah.
Reincarnated, and he's part of mad hip hop documentaries.
And people don't even mention all of the brands that he's endorses, but also, like, Snoop has been on TV forever, multiple shows. Like he's been like movies, like again, Car Wash, Baby Boy. Like Snoop has been he's been him for a long time. So, and again, we're talking about it with Griselda. Can't take it away from Jay. I don't know if anybody works harder than Snoop. Snoop.
Entertainment wise, no.
Snoop does award shows. Snoop hosts everything. Snoop does
roasts.
Touch my guy.
But hold on. You want to know what? You know what the crazy thing is?
He's
height of the East Coast West Coast beef.
Yeah.
What does Big do? I'm trying to sell records like I'm Snoop.
Yeah.
Oops. He knew, he's a bigger star than what we've seen before in rap.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of guys that have reached the stratosphere,
yeah,
but they're not touching where Snoop is.
No, Snoop is on a different level. He's definitely transcended hip hop into, and he's also, it's good because it kind of shows what can come out of hip hop, right?
Snoop did California Girls with Katy Perry, dude.
Yeah, like he can do it all, and again, like you said, he's friendly. He's totally he's rebranded about 3 times now.
But he's always LA.
Yeah. To the core. To the core.
He's always gang member.
Flag wearing, repping everywhere.
You don't see him. He's always Dickie Chuck down.
Chucks and Dickies down. You have to rate it.
He's
right?
him.
You have to rate
because
it. You have to rate it. Someone comfortable in their own skin, not willing to change for nobody.
It just reminds me of the J Line, bro.
Yeah.
He brought MTV to the streets, man. Snoop is that guy. He's still connected. If you had a beef, who would you call to solve it?
You know how many beefs he's probably solved on the back end? In hip hop.
And listen.
In hip hop.
He said, yo, East Coast, I don't like where you guys are at right now. I'm going to sign Benny and put him on Def Jam. Was able to make that call, no problem.
Yeah, but him bringing back Death Row in itself is
my God.
is
we didn't even talk about him bringing back because legit that Dog Pound album was gravy.
See, look at that.
And I know Snoop orchestrated those moves.
That album was amazing, but President of Def Jam and bringing back that like between him and Nas and like what's going on with the
they're showing you what to do in your elder statesmanship
and how to do it because it's never been done before, to this level.
They're the blueprint, B.
To this level. So okay, so I did have another question in regard to that. So we both went with Snoop. Big shout out to Jay, obviously, because Hov is Hov at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we had to break it down, like in regards to every single stat, like Jay probably went on the hip hop, like music making, bars, etc. All the cases.
I don't know. Maybe Snoop has more memorable lines though.
I think that's tough, man. People
have
studied Jay.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
Yeah, Snoop, Doggy Dogg, and Dr. Dre. But I'm thinking like at the end of the day. Jay, maybe I'll say this too because we are on the East Coast and we are heavily
we're influenced,
brought up and influenced by that. I think we might be a little biased,
of course, because Snoop also influenced himself.
Yes, yeah, oh yes, and the East Coast. Like you can't.
No, he did, but I mean, Snoop touched the South before, but a Jay would have touched the South.
But I was even thinking that when I was going through some of the Snoop albums, like. One of my favorite Snoops is No Limit Snoop. He was cooking when he went to he went to No Limit with something to prove, bro. I
mean, Master P showed him how it was supposed to be when you're an artist,
and he gives a lot of props to Master P in his time there for sure, for sure.
And you know what? I respect Snoop because Snoop gives credit where credit is due.
Yeah,
always. You always hear him giving respect to people.
Yeah, you
don't really hear Snoop tear down people.
No, he's good. He's very bushel in that sense. He's just very political with it, and you could see that he came into the game under turmoil, and I felt like ever since then he's never whiffed it.
But
whiffed it again, bro.
The crazy thing is he came in with the craziest turmoil of all time. Murder was the case. Yeah. He comes out MTV Awards, performs, evading arrest.
Yeah. All even that leading into the Source Awards too. And
it's so iconic what he said. Other than what Suge said, what else do you remember? You remember Outkast saying
Snoop,
the South got something to say, but you always remember the East ain't got love, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. It's how can you front on Snoop, man?
Yeah, that's it. You got to rate him for that at the end of the day.
100%.
Okay, I guess before we get back into music, I did have a couple questions for you. Because we were debating both of them, I also realized that they've collabed for 2 songs. So Snoop was on the Dynasty, Get Your Mind Right, Mommy.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Track. And Jay was on the remix for I Wanna Rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that iconic Snoop Dogg track off of Alice in Wonderland.
When I was in high school, we did a commercial.
Yeah.
And the song was playing. We were football players in the locker room.
Okay.
And it was a Canadian Recording Industry Association, CRIA at the time.
Go.
I played football. Somehow our whole team got the commercial. We got paid, whatever. We got agents and everything. Yeah. We thought we were gonna get mad commercials. I went to the Vince Carter, when he was with Tony the Tiger. I was at that commercial. We didn't get it. Long story short, when we're in the room,
you see those tastes, bro.
When we're in the room, what are they playing? The Snoop Dogg song with Pharrell. Not
Beautiful.
No, the hard one.
Sure.
Burn.
Snoop Dogg.
Who's the man? Oh goddamn. Snoop Dogg. That was playing in the background in the commercial.
Oh, dope.
So I remember stealing the Snoop Dogg cassette from my sister.
Yeah.
Getting it taken for the rest of the year because of the comic in the cassette tape.
Listen, that pullout, that was it.
I should not have been listening.
We were running around school with that.
Madame Russo took that shit from me so fast, kid.
Yeah, but again, him transcending, like that was crazy. And I'll even say that. We'll even add to that on some fly. Like, Snoop is so recognizable. I remember when he came out, everyone said he looked like a Doberman. You dig? Like,
but
he
remember,
pulled the hair back.
Remember in his video, he turned into the dog.
Doberman, right?
And I remember the anticipation around his album After the Chronic.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was like, yo, this is the next.
Yeah, Snoop is
He's been a king ever since. He never dropped the ball.
Snoop is him for real. So, I guess just quickly, what's your favorite Jay album all time?
All time?
Yeah. And you can switch it up. I'm not gonna hold you to it. If you ask me this question,
I don't know because
it
it kind of changes. Like, I love the Blueprint.
Is that the first one that came to mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Volume 3 was when I really was like Volume 2 and 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Volume 2 and 3.
All right, I'll give you two.
As I got older, obviously, Reasonable Doubt became because
it aged amazing.
Then you understand lyrics and you understand what he was going through. Just seeing my guys.
It's funny you say that
in the street.
It's funny you say that because I was never a really big Jay Z fan when I was younger. I gravitated more to Nas, but I realized that you don't understand Jay Z until you get to a certain age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and unless you're living a certain like high level life, which most people aren't, and they'll front. So just as long as you know that, but you got to get to certain experiences and certain he was beyond, levels to understand Jay.
It's levels to it, but because he was beyond our taste.
Yeah.
He's talking about brands
talking
that you
wild
might not,
shit. Like,
you might not get that brand until years later. Watches that you hear about years later.
We were ground level
champagnes.
Thinking. Yeah, he was on second and third floor with it
because he had already been doing it.
Yeah.
He's
an older man's too, right?
He had money. Like I remember a Cam interview where he was like, "Yeah, that nigga always had money.
Yeah.
You would go in his house." The whole wall is a fish tank.
Yeah, already up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, classic verses, like him on that Pusher record, like, you're like, whoa.
Drug Dealers Anonymous?
When he's talking about ripping the floor up for the koi fish.
For the koi fish.
You know what I mean? Like, he's beyond what like, he had brownstones in Brooklyn way.
And I think that's part of his allure is because he put you, like, he made you, like, it was almost fantasy rap. You know what I mean? Like, he had you thinking and dreaming, like, of what possibilities could be off this guy. He says, yeah, no, I'm doing this right now. You know what I mean? To a certain level that other people are co-signing. All right, so my J album, I guess 2 for me just because of certain spots. I got to go with the Black Album, and I got to go with the Blueprint.
Okay, so we're good on the Blueprint. Yeah. The Black Album is it for you.
It's one of the best parts of music in hip-hop history.
Love it.
Jay-Z,
couple skips.
I feel like Jay-Z thought he was really going to retire. I think he wrote that album because he actually thought he was done. It sounds like a send-off.
It was a send-off.
It sounds like a
everybody was getting their movie shit off at that point.
It sounded like even the Fade to Black.
The Fade to Black is what made it more official.
Yeah.
Because when you're seeing him making the records. 99 Problems in the studio.
For
you
Rick
know
Rubin,
what I mean?
It's
with the Beastie Boys and Rick Rubin right there. Like, when you're seeing that visually, like, it changes the record because you're realizing that he's doing it and then he's piecing it in.
Yeah,
like he had already thought out he don't write nothing down.
Yeah,
so your mind and him trying to get the accent right.
Yeah,
you just remember like being a rapper. You remember in the booth when you're trying to do something a little different, and you got to practice it to yourself. Add a little
twang to it.
You got to practice to yourself a few times.
For sure. Okay, and I guess before we jump into music, what's your favorite Snoop? I guess let's say movie or TV media outside of music. What stands out to you the most for Snoop?
Baby Boy.
Role. Yeah. See?
Baby Boy.
Yo, that role is so iconic, bro.
Madam said he was so skinny. They said he's so skinny. The tank top looked baggy on him. Like, he came out like. So that was a dope movie, man.
Yeah, no, Baby Boy. I mentioned it before. I love this role in Car Wash with him and Dre.
Soul Plane, he was in that.
Soul Plane, yeah. Like again, he played good. Like I think, and it's so, you know what's so funny about Snoop?
Yeah.
Snoop is typecasted and still great at being who he is. He plays himself in everything.
Oh, he was in Starsky and Hutch too.
Yeah, he plays himself in everything. That's what I'm saying. Like Snoop is doing movies.
Yo,
Snoop does TV.
he said the dude slapped him and he was ready to, but he didn't get on the character. He said he really got slapped.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo,
what the
yo, Snoop is that guy, yo.
Yeah,
shout out to Snoop.
Big shout out,
man.
big shout out,
to
big shout
Snoop.
out. All right, what are we gonna get into right now? Okay, you know what? I think let's play. All right, let's get right into. We ran this last week. We're gonna get right back into it. We're gonna run this Big Sean Alchemist Together Forever, and you know what? Let's run the I Wanna Rock right now. Snoop Dogg, Jay Z,
What?
Blueprint Radio. Let's go.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
Yes, sports with Matic and Rose's Blueprint Radio. You already know. Okay, so we're going to start right with the EPL. It's back in the flesh.
Yo.
Arsenal. So Arsenal played Aston Villa, which is Rose's new team.
Shout out to the villains, B.
So this was convenient and set up perfectly for Blueprint Radio episode 2, season 2. Unfortunately for the new Villa fan, Arsenal won 2-0. It was a good game. I'll say that for the most part.
It was. I saw the goals.
Yeah.
Listen. Goalie had a tough time.
I'll let you cook.
That second goal was shaky.
It was
the other goal, it was a beautiful goal. He came with the right foot, just pow.
Yeah.
He came across the box, and he slaughtered that. But like,
Saka's a monster. That you're talking about Hazard,
yeah.
Goal was by Partey.
Yeah, Partey's girl. Shout out to the black man, but like, you know what I'm saying?
It was
he
good.
got that.
No,
he got that.
What stood out for me with Villa, I don't know if you saw the Villa misses. I think this game probably could have been 2-2.
When he hit that crossbar and it came down.
Oh man, but he had one. The first one, it was the same guy, Watkins. He got a pass. It was a 2-on-1 off a turnover. He had a pass. He had tried to touch it into the net. The guy misses it wide left. And the second one, our goalie, Rhea, saves the ball. He's on his back. My boy has to head the ball into the net and miss it and shoots it right at the goalie. I felt bad for this Watkins guy, striker for Aston Villa. He's going to have a tough week in the papers in the UK. But I think rightfully so. As a professional athlete, I think you got to finish at least one of those chances. But shout out, EPL's good so far. It's only been a couple weeks. I'm excited for the rest of the year. I'm cautiously excited, I'll say that, because I am an Arsenal fan, and Manchester City is a generational team. I'll even say it right now. It's tough. It's tough to say, but they may be one of the best EPL teams of all time, if not already the best EPL team of all time.
But they're top in the league right now, B.
Already off goal differential. It's tough.
They're top in the league. They got the 6 points up.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
They are just slaughtering right now.
Brighton and Hove Albion, they're number 2. It's not going to last. I just don't think they're built for it. Even though the last couple of years they've been about in the 4 to 6 slot, so they are playing well. We're in 3rd right now, I believe, and then Liverpool's is in 4th.
Right after you guys.
Yeah, but Liverpool, it's going to be tough. I want to see them because they don't have Jurgen Klopp this year. They have a brand new coach. We want to see, because I feel like everything might be copacetic right now, but we'll see when turmoil starts to happen, if they will react to the new coach, if they will, if there will be a synergy, or if they're going to be, if it's going to work against them. So we'll see. Mbappe made his debut for Real Madrid. Unfortunately, Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe is a French national soccer player, played for PSG for many years, arguably the best player in the world right now. And it was just like, think New York Yankees, think LA Lakers or Boston Celtics, think, whatever the best team, the Dallas Cowboys.
They always make those signings.
The Real Madrid, which is probably the most storied football team in soccer history, definitely the most winning, has signed him. Now, he hasn't scored a goal or an assist in 2 games, I think he's finding his footing. It's like an all-star team over there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some time before he gets, feeling around Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo and Player of the Year Bellingham. So we'll see. I think it's going to be, after they start to click, it's going to be a clinic.
Yeah.
But you can't miss a Real game this year. I've watched 2 of them already. And I don't know if I might have watched 1 last year. So I think that's it. Do you have anything else on soccer? Anything else?
Nah.
All right, cool. So we'll slide into baseball. It's obviously, as a Blue Jays fan, it's tough sledding. So we can't really talk about the Blue Jays much.
No, we don't got much to say about them.
But I think, the news of news is Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is the newest member of the 40-40 Club, which ultimately has been probably the most prestige club in all of baseball.
Is that when Ricky Henderson said I'm the greatest of all time after he got those 40 bases stolen?
He won. So he did that after he won the base stealing title. So he actually became the leader in stolen bases. But funny enough, as good as Ricky Henderson was as a baseball, he never was a part of the 40-40 Club.
Nah.
So it's such a prestige club. There's only 6 people ever to do it. It's amazing that because Ohtani came in comparison to Babe Ruth because of how well he can pitch and as well as he can hit. It's both super elite.
Yeah.
But the fact that this year he's actually not pitching at all for the whole year, and that was by design by the Dodgers in his first year to kind of rest that arm. For next year and years to come. He is arguably the best baseball player of all time.
He has a gun in the outfield, though.
Bro.
I've seen him throw it and get guys out at home plate. Like, I've seen him from, left field. Just one throw. Bomb!
Yeah, he's one of those guys, I think what they call in baseball, they call 5-tool.
Yeah, he's a 5-tool
player. He can do it all. It's amazing to watch him. Again, Dodgers games. I've been in and out of Dodgers fan over time, but
for real, you're a Dodgers fan, man?
A pseudo Dodgers fan. I'm obviously a Jays fan at the end of the day, but again, I treat the Dodgers like I treat the Lakers, like I treat I'll never say the Yankees. I was never a Yankees fan because of our division.
What?
But when I like the Yankees fit because of hip hop, but not because of the Yankees.
It's hard to go against one of the greats, though. I mean, since about 95, 96, when they started winning championships, the people that they just produce, like Bernie Williams.
Yeah, I'm a Judge fan. I mean? I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm a Judge fan. An Aaron Judge fan in that sense. Like, I want to see him. I'll watch a Sunday night baseball game to see him hit home runs.
Unbelievable.
But I'm a Blue Jay fan first, and I can't root for the Yanks.
Well, I'll never root for the Red Sox. Let's just say
the Red Sox, the Orioles,
Baltimore
the
Orioles,
Tampa Bay Rays. None of them.
And
I'm rooting for.
Toughest division in baseball.
It might be the toughest division in sports.
Because we don't spend like them.
Yeah, it might be the toughest division in sports.
But Tampa Bay and Baltimore have been able to do it.
I think, so Tampa, we'll stay there for a second.
Tampa has always been able to develop players.
Yeah, and they, what the thing about Tampa, and they've always, they knew who they were.
Exactly.
Right? They already realized that they're not going to get free agents to Tampa.
No.
They're not going to sign big names in the offseason. They're not going to...
Which is crazy, because who wouldn't want to live in Florida?
Beautiful,
It's
right?
It's not like basketball.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Playing outdoors, perfect weather all the time. But in knowing that, they just, again, like you said, went to the farm team and developed. They know how to draft amazing.
Yes.
Like the prospects are the best year in, year out. They're able to trade their prospects for talent
and get
so on
solid
and so forth.
talent.
100%. Baltimore is kind of like that right now. They've been growing up. Baltimore is one of the better teams.
Well,
growing
the
with
Cal Ripken era,
100%.
The Iron Man era, and then they were trash.
Yeah, Rafael Palmeiro and so they've had some.
They even had Olimar on their team, bro.
They've had some good names.
You know what I mean?
And the Red Sox, obviously,
they've been buying their championships.
Oh, because they can afford it.
Exactly.
They can afford it, right?
The Red Sox are. You never think the Red Sox are going to be that good.
Yeah.
Midway, let's say halfway through the year, a third through the year, they just turn it up and then they don't stop.
I hate to say this, and I'm gonna say it. I have to say it because I'm fair.
It's subjective.
And I'm true. Boston might be the best sports city ever. It might. I don't want to say it, but when it comes to when you think about
how they support their teams,
when you think about when you think about the Red Sox, when you think about the Celtics. No.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They may be
for the
best.
trifecta.
I'm missing the Bruins. Look at all of that, bro.
For the 4, I was gonna say the Tribe, but for the 4, because the Bruins have been killing the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
They've been really good. The Bo Sox do their thing.
Tough to say, bro.
I mean, Patriots were America's team all through the 2000s.
They're the Patriots. Like literally the name of the Patriots. So.
But I mean, they jumped over the jump, man. They moved Dallas out the way.
Yeah, no, Dallas hasn't won anything since '93, bro.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right, 100%.
I'm just saying, what was a sports show on football without talking for an hour about the Patriots?
Yeah, no, you had to talk Tom Brady. You had to talk Belichick. You had to talk everything that
Gronkowski.
was winning football. Aaron Hernandez, you know what I mean? All of that, everything, right?
We gotta talk about that, Doc.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that next week. Okay, but we'll end off on the Shohei point here because I just want to list off a couple things. So. He's one of 6 players to ever do it. Obviously, he did it last year. The first player to do it was Jose Canseco with the Oakland A's in 1988.
Stick a pin.
Yeah.
Jose Canseco is talking mad greasy on the net a couple weeks ago.
About what?
He's saying...
Because he started the whole...
He's like, yo...
He started it.
Put me against anybody right now. I'm hitting the ball way further and harder than they could.
Like right now?
Right now.
Okay. Listen. I watched Canseco play. Canseco is a monster with or without drugs or whatever the case is.
Him and Mark McGwire.
He's one of the best
Smash
players
Brothers.
in baseball history, absolutely, regardless if he ever goes to the Hall of Fame or not.
And they front on him.
Yeah, no. Canseco is him. So you cannot...
Legit.
Yeah, Jose Canseco is him.
Legit.
Mark McGwire will tell you Jose Canseco is him. And Cal Ripken will tell you Jose Canseco
Everybody
is him.
knows he's
Everybody
him.
That played baseball from the mid-'80s to the mid-2000s
It was him...
No.
Cecil Fielder, Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, you can. The list goes
but
on.
He was him, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Him and Barry Bonds, actually.
Yeah, so as you speak, we'll get to Barry in a second. So 98 was Jose. Barry Bonds was the next to do it in 1996 with the Giants.
He had 2 careers.
Oh, he was amazing. The Pirates' career was an MVP, too. He was the MVP of the Pirates. And his transition in the Giants is crazy to me. But Alex Rodriguez is the next person to do it 2 years later in 1998 with the Mariners. Young A-Rod was something special.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And they always say that he was obsessed with Jeter.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, but you can see he's kind of psycho in that sense.
Yeah. But you got to be like that to be on that level.
To be that elite level, you know what I mean? Alfonso Soriano for the Washington Nationals.
Another guy who never gets no love.
They're pro. He was fun to watch, too. He was fun to watch in 2006. And then last year, funny enough, Ronald Acuna Jr., who's one of my favorite players in baseball from the Atlanta Braves, he did it as well. So the question I have for you, and because we have until the end of September to see if this comes to fruition, we're at the end of August. Today is what, August 26th?
Yes.
So there is, another month of baseball left. Will Shohei Ohtani be the first 50-50 player in NBA history, in NBL, MLB history? 50-50. 50 home
I
runs,
want him
50
to do
stolen
it.
bases.
I want him to do it.
Yeah.
I want him to do it. Will he do it? That means literally, let's say they play about 24 games.
Yeah.
So that's a home run.
Between now, okay, I'll give them, yeah. Because they pack it in series in September.
24, let's say 20 games, right? So that's one every other game. He has to hit one home run, and he has to steal one base every other game. He might get to the 50 stolen bases.
He'll get the 50 stolen bases,
but
for sure.
But the home runs, I think guys will stop pitching to him.
Yo, bro, you know your shit.
They're going to stop pitching to him. They're going to try to hit him. They're going to intentionally walk him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of history, fam.
But here's the thing, and you don't want to be that team that it happens to, and he's lifting up the base bag with a bat, or something.
Especially in your stadium.
Right? I think with what I've seen with Shohei Ohtani, I don't think there's nothing you could do to stop him. He's Barry Bonds-ish in the way that that year
he's gonna smack the ball.
When Barry Bonds hit 70, in that year, regardless of steroids or not, I think he is. Like Aaron Judge right now, conveniently, it's reminding me of that Sosa Maguire kind of era, Barry Bonds-ish, where you can't pitch to them. You can't, but
Because if you make a mistake,
you have to pitch to them because of the rest of the lineups to a certain degree. Because here's the Ohtani problem.
Yeah.
You don't pitch to him, you put him on base. He's just as dangerous as a base
he's
runner.
stealing the base.
As he is as a batter.
And that's why you called him a 5-tool.
Right?
Earlier,
So
right?
It's just, and I always
Heads
thought,
up.
like, because I grew up playing baseball, like, that to me was so important. And I felt like stolen bases over the last 15 years.
You're saying it's a lost art.
Oh, yeah. And now Ronald Acuna, and you're seeing a lot of stolen base totals.
It was all about the big hits for a minute.
With Ernie Wood Jr. right now, he is on top of it with the Royals. So if you ask me, I think he does it.
After that steroid era,
perfect for
which
baseball.
was amazing.
Yeah.
You remember Sosa, McGuire. Like, after that era, I feel like managers weren't tactically as sound as they were previously.
Well,
they never worried about advancing runners. You don't see them bunt as much.
You see what happens? So I'll tell you this right now, and it's funny you brought that up, and I appreciate that. Is the fact that over that time frame, let's say from like 98 or 97 to like 2000 and 2010 or whatever the case is, it was all a home run.
Right.
It's only about the home run, right? They're saying was chicks dig the home run. Right, and so they were
chicks
selling,
dig the long ball.
Or chicks dig the long ball, right?
Pause.
So it's one of those things that like they put all their stock in the home run. The ball got lighter, whatever the case is, just to make that happen more.
Yeah.
But baseball moved away from that and became more stringent on pitching. And as you've seen over the last no hitters are up, batting average is down, pitchers are being able to. So what that does, that creates you to be more creative as a manager and how to find other ways to manufacture runs.
You got to manufacture runs.
All of these things, right?
I feel like scoring is definitely down this season.
But when you get people on base, people are stealing bases. Now you're able to manufacture.
Well, you
runs
can
and
move
stuff, right?
runners, right? The fly out, the bunt,
exactly.
You know,
exactly. Now again, if the stolen base is so important, you know, you're going to be taking walks. You're going to be smarter at the plate. You're not going to be swinging for home runs anymore, right? You're going to see more bunts. So I think he does it. I think it also justifies giving somebody a $700 million contract. He has to be the best you've ever seen in his life.
You got to produce. You got to. But if somebody's giving him that $700, how much money they got?
Yeah. All right. So last question I got for you. Saw this floating online, and I thought you'd be the best person to ask. What's the hardest trophy to win in professional sports? And I'll give you the 5 that were listed. So it's the NBA championship, the World Series, the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, and the World Cup.
So we got the World Cup, we got the Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
we got NBA,
Yeah.
we got the Super Bowl,
Yeah. And the World Series.
and the World Series. Baseball has the longest season.
Correct.
It's the most grinding. 162 games, not including the playoffs.
Yes. Standing in the sun waiting for a pop fly.
Playoff baseball is exceptional.
Oh, absolutely. It's there with playoff hockey for me.
All right. I don't know if it's the hardest, but they have the longest season.
Okay.
NBA, it's not the hardest.
82 games.
It's not the hardest.
Half the teams now are kind of trash.
And what they do is now they rest players.
Yeah, you know.
So it's a little
Load
different.
management
It's a little
is
different.
a real thing.
It's a little different. So I'm going to say they're number 5.
Okay. I have them at 5 too, so we'll do this
I'm
together.
going to put them
Same
at
time.
5.
I have them at 5 too.
NBA's at 5.
Okay. Who do you got at 4?
At 4, ooh, it's hard.
Yeah. So can I give you mine? Okay, you give me yours first.
Okay,
give you
go.
mine.
Okay.
So at 4, I got the Stanley Cup. And the reason why I got the Stanley Cup is not to take nothing away from the grit of hockey, because hockey, I've always professed hockey is probably the toughest of all of these sports.
Yeah.
Because it's like football on ice and you can't run out of bounds.
Right. And
Right. So
that's stick.
Yeah, to that degree. But if I'm going to quantify the the NBA with 82 games, half the teams in the NHL aren't elite teams that you're going up against most nights. Like if you're a great team, you know, every second night you're playing somebody that you're probably gonna have a 2-1 favorite to win on. So because of those 82 games seasons for both of those sports, I got to put the Stanley Cup at number 4.
For me, it's the hardest sport out of all of them to score.
Oh, okay, all right. I see. To me,
It's the hardest.
Soccer's the hardest to score. You get 1-0 games, 11-on-11.
No, I feel you, but the target that they have to get into the net, it's not the same as hockey.
No, I get it.
The netminder he can make himself the net. So I wasn't going there.
David, that makes it look easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we grew up with Jaromir Jagr and
Gretzky and Lemieux
and Lemieux and that. So,
Bure.
we're gonna pause on that.
So no 4 for you.
So
you want to hear my list and then I'll let you work out yours.
4. It's hard because I think World Cup.
Okay.
I think World Cup comes in at 4 for me.
Okay, got it.
Because I feel like you have 4 years to train.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that are in the World Cup get to the World Cup, but they're not elite.
Okay.
We know what the elite teams are. They have elite programs that we're used to.
Yeah.
There's only about 5 or 6 teams in my lifetime that have in football that have that elite banner on them.
Got that.
Brazil, Argentina, France, Germany.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Spain,
Portugal,
Netherlands.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll move it to 10.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
But I feel like they also have the Euro, and now they have they always had it.
Copa America.
Americas. Yeah. So these guys have gotten to play with each other for a long while. Mm-hmm. If you get hot, I understand it's really hard to get hot, but if you get hot, and because you with soccer, you grew up with these guys.
Yeah.
We've been training our whole life, so I know everything about these guys.
Yeah.
Whereas these sports are more contract based, so that's why I put them at 4. I know you don't have it at 4,
I got the
but that's just my reasoning. That's just my reasoning.
No, I respect your reasoning.
You know what I'm saying?
For me, at number 3, I got the World Series, and I have the World Series because of the season is the most grueling. But I think playoff baseball, I think it's 2 different seasons. I think regular season baseball is one thing. I think you can get comfortable. I think you can take days off in a regular season.
Right.
I think the game tightens up more than any other sport when it comes to the playoffs.
So you had them at 3?
I have them at 3.
I'm going to go them at 3 too. I'm going to say
I have the
World Series, Major League Baseball at 3.
Yeah.
Which leaves me with number 2.
Okay.
Which I'm going to say, what do I got left?
I think you got the Super Bowl, you got the Stanley Cup, and
so I'm going to say the Super Bowl is number 2.
Okay.
Why I'm saying
I got the Super Bowl number 2 as well.
I'm going to say Super Bowl is number 2.
Yeah.
But we've seen teams get hot in the playoffs and just, and that bye week, if you have that bye week,
depending on when you have
that can really help you.
If you have it late
that
in the season,
can propel you.
Oh, man.
That can propel you.
Yeah.
But even just waiting for your next team, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they have the most time to prepare.
True.
You got 6-7 days to prepare. But the only thing is you don't get to play each other enough. So that's why it's hard.
And that's the thing about the Super Bowl, and why you kind of led me into my point is the fact that like it leads to my number 1 because it's at random. Like you might have played the team in that season,
right? But
in a lot of cases you might have not played that team all year. So even though you had time to prepare, you're looking at something you've never seen all year. Mm-hmm. Right, and the randomness of it, I think, does add to it. I also feel that because it is the most sport.
If you're elite, you're playing them in the EPL, you're playing them in other leagues.
In soccer,
but you're not seeing them all together.
I'm talking about American football.
Okay, but my thing was you were saying because you put soccer as number 1.
Soccer's number 1 for me. Yeah, we haven't got
that's all you had all left. So that's what I'm saying. But go ahead.
No, but for me with soccer, it's counter to your argument. So I'll talk about one since you brought it up. So, the World Cup is number 1 for me because it is every 4 years and everything has to go right. We've seen teams that have been number 1, Spain, Brazil, and lose the World Cup.
Of course.
You understand? Because they're missing their best player, or it's one of those things that But hey,
that's sports in general, though.
But because it's 11 on 11 working at the same time, things have to be, and one goal can be it. You understand what I'm saying? Where other sports, you have multiple opportunities to score, you have second chances. Like soccer doesn't really it has to be sun, moon, and stars, defense, midfielders, forwards, goalie, all unified for you to have success. And then throughout that tournament, you have the round robin, then you have the knockout stage, like the one and done. And this is why I took basketball and hockey off the list and baseball in third, is because I have an opportunity to get you tomorrow.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Football and soccer, it's one and done.
I think
I have to be locked in and engaged in that moment on that day at that time, or my season's over.
But for me, NHL has the most teams that are at the same level.
I'll give you that. So
they have the most teams that are they're spaced out by a little bit. Like when playoffs come, 1 versus 8.
It's pretty even.
It's
I'll say
evenly matched.
I feel like soccer
and
hockey is
they deal with the most. To me, they deal with the most injuries.
Yeah, hockey play football too, though. You can't take
That's
away
a
from
fact.
football.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is
and football's injuries to key players. Like if McDavid is injured at all throughout that playoff run last year, Edmonton does nothing. You understand what I'm saying? But I guess the same works. 49ers, Purdy gets injured 2 years ago. In the conference finals, we lose. So it is what it is. But again, that's it.
I think I just feel like there's a certain level of grit and toughness with playoff hockey.
Yeah.
The intensity that you see, it just, to me, it speaks to being the hardest to win because it's the hardest. It's physical.
Yeah.
It's hard to score.
Yeah.
We see tons of injuries, and you just got to have your mind right. You don't get to affect the game like you want to.
Yeah, but I can get
You're in a line.
But I can get you back next year. In World Cup, I may have 2 shots at this my whole life.
Right.
And I don't get to go back for 4 years.
Well, that's that would be like us saying the Olympics though.
No, but it's the World Cup.
Because the Olympics, you train for 4 years, you only have one shot. If you slip,
yeah, but the Olympics isn't on the list. World Cup is every 4 years.
I don't know. It was a good topic, man. It was good. Let's get into something else, baby.
Yeah. So I win. That's what that means.
Nah. It's not fair because we can't really. You know what I'm saying? It's like me saying who's the best rapper. It's subjective.
All right. So how about we do This Week in Hip Hop?
Yeah, for sure.
Slide right into that.
All right, so August 19th, we got to celebrate the born day of our boy Nate Dogg. OC dropped his second album, Jewels, had mad bangers on that. Yeah. That's a fire one. Yeah. T.I. released his second album, Trap Music, in 2003. 1997, like OC, we had Royal Flush release his debut album, Ghetto Millionaire. Had dope joints on it. And shout out to the boy, Fat Joe. August 19th, 1970 is his birthday. August 20th, we saw Earl Sweatshirt release his debut album, Doris, in 2013. We also got Trap Lord from A$AP Ferg on that same day. Crazy. I drove Danny Brown, but A$AP Ferg was in the next ride. Didn't realize he was that small. He's only about 5'5". Big up to Trap Lord. August 20th is also a huge day for us here at Blueprint because the Clips released their debut album, Lord Willin'.
Oh man.
I know Grindin' probably had you in a frenzy as a youth.
Honestly, when the Clips came out, I think it's a different time, but I would say it has that kind of Griselda feel. I think they were a sound that I loved. It was familiar. The album was amazing. It was really Pharrell's coming out party. We heard Pharrell on other stuff with Nori, so on and so forth. But that Clips album was
he got to produce a full length.
Yeah, that was him. Grinding is definitely one of the best hip hop tracks of all time. One of the best hip hop beats you've ever heard. But the synergy between the Clips and Pharrell, them putting on, because I don't remember, other than I know we had Timbos, Magoos and stuff, but on a real hip hop I guess gangster level. We really didn't have anybody from VA. Matt Skills is from there, but like they brought a different energy. They really brought that coke talk, that street really level rap, right? Yeah. And it was luxury rap,
but they did it well.
Yeah, and it was very luxury rap too. So
they rapped like college kids.
Yeah, it was a good feel. So
you can see they were educated, but they were also educated in the streets.
Yeah.
So we felt that. Shout out to one of the legendary MCs of all time, KRS-One. It was his birthday on August 20th. August 21st, Talib Kweli released his third solo album, Eardrums. On August 22nd, we got Jay Dilla's third album, The Shining.
Rest in peace, Dilla.
Yeah, rest in peace to Dilla. Shout out to the Jizza. It was hers birthday on August 22nd. On August 23rd, we got the Licks, who released their debut.
Alcoholics.
21 and over. Lauryn Hill released her debut solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, on August 25th. That was your birthday.
Funny how money changed the situation.
Huh? Shout out to Shock G, aka Humpty.
Hey, shout
Humpty.
out to Shock G. Rest in peace to Shock G as well.
Rest in peace to the guy. Yeah. He was born on August 25th, and Terminator X of Public Enemy. And then today, which is August 26th, is Big Crit's birthday. So shout out to them. Yeah. I know we got some music that correlates with these hip hop announcements that we just made.
Yeah, we're gonna run a couple joints. We definitely first track we're gonna play is Virginia from that Clips album. We're gonna slide right into a Royal Flush Worldwide.
Big tune.
We're gonna run that T.I., the Rubber Band Man, and then we're gonna get into a couple other. Just favorites of ours. I think we're gonna run that little flip. Game over. Flip. Some fab motivation off that Summertime Shootout, and you know what? We're gonna end it off with some blessings. Big Sean, Drake. Why not get Kanye on the remix? Blueprint Radio.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
All right, fam. Yo, another amazing show.
Yes.
Feeling good?
I feel great, man. Right, Season 2, Episode 2. We're back.
Let's go. And we're here to stay. Again, appreciate everybody that took the time out to, spend some time with Blueprint Radio, either, on iLive Radio, listening to us every Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Yes.
Please download the app, iLive Radio. And that's Blueprint Radio there. You're checking us out on YouTube right now, so appreciate all the love there. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the little bell for notifications. Tell your friends, tell your family.
Blueprint is here.
Share it with everybody you can.
Comment.
I promise blessings will be bestowed upon you for doing so. Check out the video playlists that are attached to our YouTube page, as well as our Spotify playlist. It's fire over here. We're working. Check us out on Instagram, Matic_BPRS.
Reed Roses _BPRS and Blueprint Radio Show at Gmail.
If you to get at us, to send us any kind of material, promotional, music, art, we're here. We're working with everybody. Love. Hope everybody has a safe and blessed week. Stay up, please.
And we gone.
We out of here.
Peace.